Perfect. So my name is Louis Cléroux. I'm the founder of Timechain. Our company is really targeting Canadian right now. So we started in Canada, and right now in Canada, more than 2 million Canadian holds about $7 billion worth of cryptocurrencies. And those crypto holders would like to purchase high-priced items such as houses and cars with their cryptocurrency. The problem is the banks does not support any cryptocurrencies and do not also integrate the cryptocurrency asset in the net balance sheet of individuals. And so for them, even though maybe they are rich in crypto, it's not taken into consideration and they cannot get financing even though they have a positive net worth. And so with Timechain, we make it very easy for them to connect their bank accounts directly online using Plaid or Flinks, which would be very easy to integrate for the US market. And being able to put collaterals, so cryptocurrency as collateral, and get a cash loan directly deposited into their bank account without having to do a credit check or having to provide proof of the asset, because we actually receive the cryptocurrency as collateral. So the way it works is pretty simple. We simplify it to make it very, very streamlined. And so the way it works is you decide which cryptocurrency you would like to put as collateral. You select your bank account, and then you confirm the loan terms, the duration, the interest rate, how much collateral you'd like to put, and how much money you would like to receive. And so by confirming the terms and condition, then within the same day, you will receive the funds directly deposited into your bank account. The way it works right now with Timechain is we are able to provide service throughout the world. And so if you have, for example, a bank account in Asia and you have a bank account in the US, we are using cryptocurrency to transfer funds between your different bank accounts that you hold around the world. And so by leveraging this technology that we developed for the last 2 years, we're able also to provide loans to those customers around the world by amplifying the services we get from the DeFi solution. And so, for example, if you have an investor that would like to lend money to borrowers who have crypto as collateral, we would be able to provide the loans directly to those customers all around the world. And so the people would like to stake, for example, lend Bitcoin and then receive money into their Asian account, or maybe they would like to receive money into their US account. And that's how we make it very flexible for users to borrow money around the world. We achieve a zero default rate through higher compliance. We make sure that we have all the regulatory framework for Canada, and we're currently working to get our approval with the US market. We do all the AML and KYC for the customers, making sure the funds are legit, and also verifying that the cryptocurrencies are also good quality. So we use BitRank to verify also the wallets. We're currently working on more than 10 countries right now to get approval to lend money across the world. The way it works is very, very simple. Let's assume that today Bitcoin is worth $50,000. And so somebody would give us 1 Bitcoin, and then we would receive a loan of $25,000. Let's assume we project ourselves 1 year later. We have a scenario where Bitcoin drops in price significantly, and then we would liquidate the asset just like a margin call you would do on a stock line of credit. And so we would liquidate the Bitcoin, pay back the loan, and then the loan would be forgiven. Or scenario B, Bitcoin continue to grow in price and then reach 100K for 1 Bitcoin. And so the user will be able to refinance just like a home is asset and get up to $50,000 in loans. Our go-to-market strategy is quite simple. We want to create an API that will directly connect with crypto exchanges. This is where all the cryptocurrency holder hold most of the cryptocurrency right now. And we want to also offer the solution for banks to also offer crypto loans to their customers, because they already have the loan infrastructure, and Timechain would be used to manage their crypto assets. So we would liquidate the asset of the user on behalf of the bank if something happened with the lender. And so we did a quick competitive analysis right now on the market, and we noticed that around the world, and especially in the US, there's a big difference in the borrow rate that people can get when they borrow money and how much they can get when they lend money using the cryptocurrency. And so what we do at Timechain is we aggregate all those solutions and we get the best deal possible for the user, and we process the cash loan directly from our license. This way, it's very easy for them to get a crypto loan and get cash right away into their bank account. And so by analyzing the competition, we noticed that most of the solution works on a daily or weekly basis for getting the loan, which can be a bit cumbersome if you want to have a long-term loans. And so by having all the regulation done with cash, we are able to offer 5 years loan to users. And so by having a longer term and by leveraging all the DeFi solution that is available on the market, we are able to reach a 75% AUM per year.
And we're at time. Thank you so much, Louisville. So let's turn it over to the panelists.
All right, since Rob went first last time, I think I'll go first this time. So and again, Louis, great job. I know it's hard to squeeze everything into the 5 minutes, especially when you're trying to explain a somewhat complicated platform. I liked your statement of the problem up front. That's always very helpful to get everybody kind of focused on what you're doing. And I like the phrase sort of crypto as collateral. I'm a reforming economist, so I have to admit it. As a somebody that at least vaguely understands the crypto market, I look, crypto market's a store of value, right? And so I was confused a little bit around it. Well, why are they actually borrowing against the crypto and not just using the crypto to buy the asset? Again, so I think that might need a little bit of explanation. And I think I get the answer. It's kind of like what you were using stock as collateral, right? And you want to keep invested in that. But again, I would explain that a little bit. My biggest concern was, as you were going through the first initial couple of slides, was, oh my God, the regulatory issues in this space are enormous. So I was delighted when you pulled up your regulatory slide and said, hey, we're beginning to handle this, because you're going to be in the money movement business. And that money movement business, and in the US in particular, is well, there's no real good way to say it. It's a nightmare, right? Because it's not only federal and multiple layers of federal regulation, but every state gets involved as well. So that's that compliance thing, I was glad you were able to get to that. Also, wanted to really understand a little better, and I was still a little fuzzy at the end on this. Are you really the lending platform, or that you're going to offer up to financial institutions, or are you doing it direct? And I think it sounded like you were doing a little bit of direct to prove it out, and then you were going to actually offer it as a platform. Was that right?
Yeah, so we provide API service for either the financial institution or the exchange, because they handle the crypto part and we handle the cash part, and vice versa with the bank. So they don't want to touch the crypto, so we touch the crypto and then they manage the cash.
Got it. And I do appreciate that you did the competitive matrix. Again, it's probably, I think it's one of Rob's eight requirements. I'm sure you checked that box. The one box though that you missed that I would have liked to have seen more on, and I'll go back to my comments from the earlier presentation. It's team. Yes. And we heard a little bit about you, but we didn't hear about any of the rest of the team. So that's it for me. But great job.
Thank you, Daniel. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Louis. That was a good presentation. Again, I think it's a pretty technical pitch, and I think you were able to really explain it over your 5 minutes. In fact, I love the use of use cases, and your one slide on the use case really just kind of was the light bulb for me. Basically I got it from there. So really nice job with that. It's a unique solution too. Honestly, going into this pitch, I thought your solution was just another way to send money back and forth to international destinations, but this is really unique with the collateral through the Bitcoin. So I thought very unique solution, good use case. Your competition slide, as Daniel referred to, there weren't many companies on that, so that's a good thing. You know, I'd want to be a little bit more educated about who else is doing something like that, but it looks like, I don't know if you have first mover advantage, but it looks like you're pretty early on as far as being able to do that. So that's all good things. What I think you missed is I do want to see your traction. So I'd love to know how much you've originated in loans, and I want to know how you make money. I don't know if you really drilled into, so how is Timechain making money and how are you going to win? So I'd like to see a little bit more on that. Like Daniel, I tend to freak out a little bit about the fraud and all the regulatory stuff you're going to have to go through. So I'm glad you addressed that. But I'm sure it's going to be a slog to get this rolled out in the U.S. I think it sounds like you got a handle on what you're going to have to do to get it rolled out. But I can imagine that there's a lot of regulations you have to work through. So that's my feedback, but nice job.
Thank you very much, Rob. Just quickly to answer your question, for the traction, we generated 250K US for this quarter, Q1 2021.
In loans or revenue?
In revenue, yes.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, throw that up there. That's good. Those are good numbers.
Yeah. And the other part is how we make money is basically we arbitrage the interest rate between the borrower rate and the lending rate.
Great.
All right, Louis. So thank you, panelists. We do have some questions from the audience. Spencer Disher asks, do you think that over time banks will replace your platform with internal resources?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the thing that is very interesting right now with different banks is that countries have different regulations. And so we would see a consolidation in the future where the internet will become directly involved with the banks. So the globalization will compete with the local banks in the future. And this is a bigger threat than the bank actually giving the loans, because other banks who have already this solution already figured out might compete in your market. For example, Revolut would come in the US, for example, and then they offer those free fees account. We would see the same type of business coming in the US in the coming years.
Fantastic, Louis. Thank you so much. There's another question in there if you want to answer that in the chat. And again, if anybody has any questions for Louis and Timechain, the Timechain team, please save those for the networking portion. You'll be able to ask them then.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to move on to Hexonica.